everybody. Welcome to the Evening Reader. I'm here on Wednesday to do Two Tag Tuesday. Two tags for the price of one. Not on Tuesday, though, on Wednesday. I was going to do these separately, but I decided to do them together because they're both kind of short and I could kill two tags with... I could tag two... I could get two tag videos done. So, yeah. One of these I was tagged several weeks ago by Punk Rock Cereal Bowl to do the this or that tag, and don't know who created the this or that tag. It's been around for a long time, and he did not have it listed, and I am not sure, and I did not do my research, so I apologize to you if you created the this or that tag. I am doing it. Thank you for creating it. And if I do find it, or if somebody knows, let me know, and I'll put that into the description box below. But without further ado, the this or that tag. Okay, so the first question is paperback or hardback? I like hardbacks on the shelf, and they're fine to read, except that, I never do the thing I should do, which is take the dust jacket off. I leave it on, but I really like a nice trade paperback. I think a nice trade paperback is probably my favorite format. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one that's got like French flaps and deckled edges and has just that nice feel in your hand, so it feels substantial and like some effort's been put into it, but it's not, it's not as heavy as a hardback. So, I mean, they're not that heavy, but yeah, that's my answer. Okay. Second question is Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. That's probably the number one thing that got me convinced that fantasy was not just whatever. Even though, I had, in studying, all of my literature professors, all of my professors loved Lord of the Rings, loved Tolkien, loved C.S. Lewis, loved Ursula K. Le Guin. Nobody ever looked down on either science fiction or fantasy, really. So I think that was just something that I had formed in my own mind. But the first time, I can tell you, I had to kind of be dragged to see the first Lord of the Rings movie, Fellowship of the Ring, in year 2001. And it was, I was like, ugh. And I mean, I was gripped. I was just gripped from the first 5 minutes. I was in love completely. And The Two Towers is my favorite. I have read the books also now. I read them after the movies. That's true. It's true. And The Two Towers is both my favorite movie and book. And I also do love the Harry Potter movies. I have not read the books. I'm too old for this when it came out, even though everybody my age was reading them. I was like, why are you reading a children's book? That's where I was then. That's where my mind was. I do still love the movies. I do watch the movies. We're going to leave the other discussions about the author of that book out. Okay. Real books or ebooks? Both. I love to read real books. I love reading on my Kindle. I do not have a preference. I know there are people who don't like ebooks for lots of different reasons, but I also know that there are a lot of people who can't read physical books and need ebooks or audiobooks to read. So and I like both. So that's my answer there. Buy or borrow? When I lived in the States, I liked to borrow and then buy. So I would borrow the book from the library. If I really loved it, then I would buy a copy. Now I buy a lot of my books. I buy all my books actually, unless I borrow it from a friend. But yeah, that's my preferred method, would be to borrow and then buy. So, okay. Read in bed or in a chair? chair specifically. I read on a sofa. Does that count? I used to read in bed. I don't really read in bed much anymore, but I'm trying to get back into the habit because it's just a nice transition from being kind of busy to, settling in. But yeah, I read mostly sitting on the sofa in my, I don't know what you call this, office den area, second living room, whatever. Okay. Library or bookstore? Well, right now, bookstore. Bookstore. Bookstore and online bookstore. Oh, yeah. The library here is massively crowded. That's one thing. It is just unbelievably crowded, or at least the main branches. And honestly, that's the only one that I have been to. Not all branches, I think not all branches of the library here have English books. I think that's right, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me. And I think I've explained here that before that the library here is a membership. It is not a free thing, which is fine. It's free for children under 12. For adults, it's like 60 euros a year, I think. And they do have a wide selection of English books that are probably more than 2 years old, but more, I would say more classic books and then popular books. So popular genre fiction like murder mystery or legal mysteries, and things like that. They have a lot of, I've only been in there twice to look through what they have, and then they have a lot of older books. But I haven't actually joined or checked out any books there, and I can't read Dutch, so I can, scan a newspaper, but I couldn't read literature in Dutch. So bookstore is it for me for now. I buy a lot of books. I do go to the bookstores here. I try to go to the independent bookstores here, which is mainly like the Athenaeum, or which has a small English section, or American Book Center, which is the primary English bookstore that's an independent English bookstore here. We also have one called the Book Exchange that's all used English books, and I don't always have the best luck there just because they have a lot of stuff that I just don't necessarily want. It just seems like they never have what I want when I go in there. And I'm not great at browsing and then just coming away with stuff. Although last time I was in there, I saw 2 Richard Russo books that I may go back and buy. So yeah. And then we have a Waterstones. And then there is another bookstore called Scheltema. If American, we would say Scheltema. And they have an English book section also. So there are options here to buy English books, but I also buy a lot of books from Better World Books online, physical books, to buy used books. I use them because they ship internationally. You have to wait forever, but it's totally worth it. Now the book depository is gone. I guess I'm going to try Blackwell's. I guess that's probably one of the better options for me to buy books if I can't get them here, and I don't want to buy it on Kindle and I want to buy a physical book. And I also use Google Books sometimes, so just depending. Yeah. All right, so this is not as short as I thought it was going to be. Okay. Fiction or nonfiction? Well, mostly fiction. I would say 80% fiction, 20% nonfiction. This month I am reading a lot of nonfiction for Mental Health May and Springathon and Bring Me a Melody. Am I leaving an event out? Oh, I don't think I am. But I am reading Emma of the New Moon for Ellen Montgomery, or it's been renamed Montgomery for Ellen by Ellen Montgomery. And then I may try to shoehorn in some more fiction, but yeah, mostly nonfiction this month. So that's unusual for me. Print or audio? Well, print. I can't do audiobooks. My mind wanders away. I don't drive. I don't have a commute. When I'm walking, if I try to listen to an audiobook, I don't know, something in the book, I just go off into the world. I've been trying for years. I can do short stories. And I can do podcasts, but for some reason, listening to somebody read a book, just I go away. And I don't have enough, I don't do like, it's just, I can't do it with chores. I can't listen to them while I work. So yeah, I'm a print book all the way. Um, New books or old books? Both. Well, I don't know what this means actually. New books or old books? Do you mean like if this means like modern literature versus like classic literature, or does this mean brand new books versus used books? And I guess the answer is both on both of those. So both new books and old books. Short chapters or long chapters? What? Do people actually have chapter preferences? It depends on the book. I would say the only reason it would matter to me if chapters were short or long would be if I was maybe not enjoying a book. You know, like when is this chapter going to be end? I'm tired. Can we move on? Can we get, or if it's a multi-point of view book and I'm ready to get to another character and I'm not liking the character or not enjoying the part of the story that maybe is in the current chapter, but otherwise I don't notice something like that. I guess I would notice it if it's supposed to be a page turner, or there's some momentum being lost, but I think that can be handled with the right kind of section breaks also, and even just paragraphs. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be chapters. I mean, I guess that's an interesting question in terms of structure, but I feel like if a book is doing what it's supposed to be doing, it's something that you really aren't supposed to notice, maybe unless you go back and read the book again and you want to look at how the author has done something, created suspense, or, withheld information, or kept you focused on a specific character or plot line. I guess that would be the thing there. And so, yeah, that's the this or that tag. That's all the questions there. And I'm going to save my tagging because, of course, it says to tag people. And I'm saving my tagging for the end because I'm doing a second tag. I'm doing tag number 2 because I was tagged by Kristin at Enter the Book to do the book titles poem tag that was created by AJ Dunn Reads and Writes. So I will link their videos down below. And the rules are to use book titles, and you have to have the book to create a poem. And you can use, I'll put the rules in the description box, you can use certain connectors and prepositions and articles to help create connections between your book titles. I tried to do it without that, just for fun, because I'm a nerd. And I also did 2 poems because I probably could have done like 10 poems if I'd had the time. And because I just had so much fun doing it, even though I don't write poetry, or it's just easier, I guess, when some of the words are already in place to kind of mix them up and have fun. It's like a game. So yeah. So here are my book title poems. Okay, poem number 1. All right. The wonders of the invisible world. Startle and illuminate. Where water comes together with other water. Do not deny me. All my puny sorrows. I came all this way to meet you. The least you need to know. This is pleasure. Small ceremonies. Secrets of happiness. Tiny, beautiful things. Ta-da! I'm sure you could have done without the ta-da. That's poem number 1. That's poem number 1. Okay. I don't have titles for these. I should come up with titles. Well, hang on. I gotta grab stack number 2. Okay. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Here is poem number 2. All my friends are going to be strangers. Moving on, south of the Big Four, 1,000 acres, a place of greater safety. My books are all falling off. Leaving Cheyenne, I'll be gone in the dark. Give me your hand. Never let me go. Cowboys are my weakness. All right, so there's me wickedly laughing like a crazy person. Those are my poems. I hope you enjoyed them. I will put them in the description box also, just so you can, you know, come back, perhaps read them aloud to someone you love. Maybe have them put on a coffee mug or, yeah, t-shirt. Okay. All right. Okay. Enough. All right. Let me tag some people. Now, if any of you have done the tags, you don't have to do both tags. You can do both tags. You can pick one or the other, or you don't have to do any of the tags. It's okay with me. If you're busy, if you don't want to do tag videos, that's all fine. I have no problem with that at all. And if you've already done these tags, then I apologize. So I am tagging Randy at The Literate Texan, Faye at Faye's Parallel Stories. You sound like contest winners. You've won the tag. Jess at Stalking Kafka, Melinda at Web of Stories, and Kelly at Kelly the Bookworm. So you are all tagged to do one or both or none of these tags. Okay. That's my prize announcing voice. Okay. All right. It's Wednesday. We all need to have a little fun. Okay. So that's it. That's my tag not Tuesday, not tag Tuesday tag. This is a two. And I hope you enjoyed these. And I will see you later. Take care. Bye.